All right, good morning all to agents. This is Kevin Lauren. I'm the Director of Training and Marketing. And today on the webinar, we are going to go over a really good mailing program, a monthly mailing program. Helps you keep top of mind with the people in your farm. So this is going to be an awesome presentation. I really like this product. And our friend Aurec is going to be doing the presenting. But before we get into today's presentation, I want to bring Bill Seitz on the line from Clearview Mortgage. And Bill's going to kind of bring us up to speed on what's going on in mortgage land today. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Kevin.
How are we doing today?
I'm doing all right. It's a beautiful day here. After a real blustery, weird night of lightning and thunderstorms last night, it was really bizarre. But you know, strange things happen.
You know it. And I heard you guys got some hail in some areas down there.
It was super weird, and it looks like San Diego got kind of blasted last night. We got a little touch of it and went to walk the dog, and there was some incredible lightning and thunder and kind of out of nowhere.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that.
but today, you know, after the storm blows through, it's absolutely gorgeous. Blue skies, no clouds, so it's a good day to get after it.
You know it. Great day to be in California.
Absolutely, that's why everyone's here. So yeah, Cameron's tied up this morning, so I'm just going to touch real quickly on just the mortgage and the market update. If you kind of want to maybe bring up the 10-year for me, Kev.
You got it, buddy.
As most of us know that have been on these webinars for any length of time, the 10-year is basically the backbone to where mortgage rates move and what they do. And so you can see there on that little graph where you are hitting new high territory. So the rates now are basically as high as they've been since 2019. And we're seeing rates in the low to mid fours pretty consistently now. So any of those borrowers out there thinking that the high twos are still available are pretty much delusional at this point.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to buy down the rate, you know, pay points, so certainly they can get, you know, into the low to mid threes, but that's not always the best decision depending on your goals on finance. But the major headline this morning is 10-year Treasury yield is little changed after strong retail sales data and investors await the Federal Reserve minutes. So we're going to get some sort of language out of the Federal Reserve, looks like today, and I think that will definitely have an impact on rates moving forward. So that'll be something that we'll have an update for everybody next week if they don't know already based on the news or what's coming out. Additionally, obviously, we have some geopolitical events that are happening around the world that are making investors nervous. So it'll be really interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, always, right?
100%. And then real quick, I just want to let everyone know we do have a new investor that's not it's not a qualified mortgage investor. So it's not a Freddie and Fannie backed loan. That's kind of our traditional, conventional, you know, FHA, VA type of financing. It's they have a debt service coverage product where if you have an investor that, you know, maybe or you know, a homeowner that, you know, has a property as an investment, maybe they're self-employed, maybe they just don't show a lot of income. We can just qualify them based on the rental income as long as it covers the mortgage and you know, property insurance and taxes. It's pretty easy to get these things done really quickly, and it's a nice option for people who just can't, for whatever reason, get the traditional financing. There's no tax returns, there's no, you know, bank statements, there's no pay stubs. It's basically based on the lease and the appraisal and the making sure that the market rent is, you know, is basically falling in line with the area that you're, you know, the property's in. So it's a nice option. I know there's people out there that do have those scenarios. I'm working on one now. So it's nice to have that option. If anybody has clients that are finding themselves challenged to refinance or do something, it's just a nice option to have.
For sure. Well, thanks for that update, Bill. Appreciate it. And so, of course, easiest way to get a hold of anybody in the Clearview Mortgage team, Cameron, Rick, and anybody else, Bill, just go to clearviewmortgageca.com or cvmloans.com. And they all have their emails are, you know, Bill at cvmloans.com, Cameron at cvmloans.com, Rick at cvmloans.com. So easy way to get a hold of those guys, and don't hesitate because they are a part of your team. So thanks again, Bill.
Absolutely. And I had one more thing, Kevin. I don't know if you have a minute.
Of course.
I just wanted to review something that it was brought to my attention yesterday. And it's something that, can be overlooked in just as far as disclosures. I had an agent call me in regarding the smoke detector compliance. And they were like, oh, my seller doesn't want to put in, the smoke detectors. When she bought the home from the builder, they didn't have, smoke detectors in every room. Didn't want to maybe spend the extra money. Well, obviously we do have requirements to do so. And, it's important that we're aware, even if you bought it from a builder and maybe it was 20 years ago and, the building codes or the fire, requirements were different. Well, they have evolved, and it is super important to make sure that you're aware of that. And I know the smoke detector water heater compliance disclosure is something that kind of is, it's like one of those disclosures that's there, and we always, we do it, but it's not maybe taken as seriously as maybe it should be. But it's super important because it is a law and it is required. And, I just kind of pulled up this morning because they did just like the purchase contract, they did basically adjust this form as well last year. And so I'm just going to read this real quick so everybody's just is real clear on this. California law requires that every single family dwelling and factory built housing unit sold on or after January 1st, 1986 must have operable smoke detector approved and listed by the state fire marshal, installed in accordance with state fire marshal's regulations, health and safety code, blah, blah, blah. All used manufacturer or mobile homes have an operable smoke detector in each sleeping room. So while there's the broader California regulation, there's also local county local ordinance and regulations that might be a little more stringent. So it's just super important just to be aware of what market you're working in. As far as the way I look at it is pretty much you're good if you have one in every room and you have one in each hallway leading into the bedrooms, right? I just, looking around my home and also the largest living area room that you're, spend the most time in, and then a carbon monoxide detector on each floor is the requirement. So, it might be good just to revise that, take it seriously, make sure that, if you do have a seller that is kind of, hemming and hawing about it, just explain the importance of it and, prevent maybe some liability down the road.
For sure. And just explain it's the law. Sorry.
It is. And there's one exception, and just I make sure, so sometimes we do have sellers that have never lived in a property. They don't know much about it. Maybe it was transferred to them. They just don't, they just don't have any working knowledge of the property. So they can't really fill out a transfer disclosure statement. They don't know what to put there because they've never lived in it and they don't know the condition of the property. So in that instance, a written statement of smoke detector compliance is not required for transactions where the seller is exempt from providing a transfer disclosure statement. So that's that scenario. But, that's really the only time you can be exempt from this. And so it's just important for all of us to be aware of this, this requirement. So that's it for that, Kevin.
All right. Well, I appreciate the update on that, Bill.
Absolutely. And we'll tune in now.
All right. Sounds great, buddy. All right. So I'm going to bring Aurec on the line. Aurec is the representative for offers.com. And let's see if we can bring Aurec on. All right.
Hey, how's it going, Kevin?
Very well. Good to have you on our webinar this morning, Aurec.
Good to be here. Good to be here. Thank you, everybody, for attending as well. I see a lot of people here.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a packed webinar as usual. So, Aurec, last week we went over kind of the difference between Facebook advertising and Google advertising. And so I told everybody a great augmentation of having both of those kinds of advertising is to always have a mailer going out to your farm. So that's why you're here today, to let us know what your product does and how our agents can take advantage of it. We already have a few agents that are taking advantage of offers.com. So
that's correct. Yeah, that's true. And I'm actually, I watched the recording of the Facebook and Google yesterday, and I love the repeat of that kind of prong approach, right? While Facebook isn't the same as Google or the same effectiveness, you still want to have that coverage for those missing kind of areas and really hit them all the ways you can. And we're definitely going to be helping you do that with mailers. So Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, so you should be able to share your screen now.
All
So
right.
if you'd like to do that, you can take it away.
All right. You guys should be able to see my screen. It says offers there in big letters.
Perfect. Looking good.
Great. All right. So just a little background about us before we get started. Offers, we started up as a startup about 8 years ago back in Florida. We went door knocking on brokerages' doors and wanted to, of course, pitch our product to them. And ever since then, we've been growing and growing. We recently got acquired by Constellation Real Estate Group, and they own a number of other real estate software such as Market Leaders, Zerpal, SmartSip, et cetera. But the reason why we built offers is because of this one NAR statistic. The reason, like, this all started about 80 years ago off this statistic right here. 75% of homeowners choose the first real estate agent in the door. And of course, this has been time and time and again, true and truer. We want to be making you the first agent in the door. This is how offers is going to help you generate listings. But the question is, to get first in the door, I need to do farming. I need to do marketing, brand awareness. There are a bunch of other agents doing the same exact thing. On top of that, marketing and farming is expensive. I have to hit thousands and thousands of homes in order to reach, multitudes of commissions, right? I want to be able to hit thousands and thousands of homes to increase my chances. So how can offers help me get first in the door? We can predict future listings. This is the kicker here. For the past 8 years, we've been able to predict over 70% on average across the entire nation of the future listings that have occurred before they've hit the markets. And you can do it in your area as well, where you guys are based out of California. And this is great because what we're going to be doing, utilizing this and leveraging this, we're able to get you there first before any other agent. We're able to minimize the amount of homes you need to sell and really only focus on the homes that matter. We want to, again, what's the goal? Get you first in that door, except we're doing it way more efficiently. If we move on here, how does offers predict 70% of the future listings? I can say we do all this great stuff, but really what goes into it? And that all starts off with data. We purchase data from over 50 different data providers and sources. This can range anywhere from banks like Bank of America, credit score companies like Experian, the tax assessor's office, county records, MLS data, contact information companies such as Cole Information, and even real estate websites like Realtor.com, Redx, Redfin, Vulcan 7, etc. And so after purchasing all the data for every single property and wherever you want to generate listings out of, we're then going to analyze the data. We have a machine learning algorithm, which is just fancy for saying a little bit of a math equation. It's basically a robot. You kind of think of it that way. But what it primarily does is it takes into account over 250 different data points on the homeowner and their life. So we're not really looking at them browsing real estate websites primarily. What we're looking at is, did they get a divorce? Did they have a family death? What's their credit score like? Did their salary change? Are their kids going to college? Renovations? How long have they lived in the home? Do they live by a school? Etc. And after we look at all these different data points, we're then able to provide a property score for every single property in your area. But we're not going to give you everyone. We're only going to provide you the top 30% of the highest scored homes that are most likely to sell, because this is our sweet spot. This is where we see 70% of the future listings live within. So if we kind of go back to this previous slide here, you'll see these squares right here with 100 homes. Imagine these as homes, these 100 squares here. The average turnover rate across the nation is about 4 to 5%, meaning that only 4 to 5% of the homes that you're marketing to are going to be selling. Imagine you're trying to prospect. You're doing cold calling with your title company. You're doing, postcards or ads or something like that. Only 5% of the calls that you make are actually hitting people that are looking to sell in the future. That's kind of sad. 95% of it's going down the drain. So with offers, we're going to score all these homes and only provide you the top 30%. And that's going to contain 70% of the future listings that are going to occur. That's a 15% turnover rate instead of your average 5, which is almost pretty much triple times more efficient. We're not changing how we market and generate listings through nurturing. All we're doing is changing the audience. So moving on, why are we doing this again? Just to kind of give you a recap. Well, again, we're accurate 70% of the time, 95% of your money is not being wasted anymore. You have a 15 to 20% chance of hitting a homeowner who's likely to sell, and one listing will give you return on all of your marketing budget and the offers platform. It's great. It's a no-brainer. At the end of the day, we're getting your name known to homeowners who are most likely to sell with primarily postcards. And that moves on to my next point. We know where the data comes from. We know what they have. We know why they came to us. We know they're highly scored. But how do we get that to be that first person in the door? How do we get there? And that's done through marketing and brand awareness, primarily with our method, postcards. We have a whole CRM platform that is completely automated. So you only have to log in 12 times a year. You don't have to learn a whole new system and take time out of your day to set up campaigns and do all these calls. Instead, you just set it and forget it. Take care of your family, go show properties, write some paperwork that's important, prioritize more important things. And this is what we call our smart apps. So we have a few different ways to market and use in terms of like what apps we provide, primarily mailing, but I'm going to go into depth about some of the other functionalities we also provide. So first and foremost, Facebook advertisement. Now you learned in last presentation that Facebook ads aren't going to be as effective as Google, but there's still something to consider. Now with offers though, we're changing that. Facebook can actually be a valid tool because we're no longer targeting just a general 15-mile radius. We're targeting those exact homeowners who scored high and are predicted to sell. How crazy is that? It's a way more efficient way to now make Facebook a viable option that's almost on par on Google. So we'll run a generic home value ad asking them if they want to learn more about their home value, and anybody that fills that out gets sent to you. So that's one of the methods we also provide for our smart apps. We have things such as landing pages and lead capture sites. And here's the kicker. Here's the thing that 90% of our offers agents utilize to find success: direct mailing. If I send out, again, a postcard campaign or direct mail campaign to 2,000 homes, only 100 of my postcards are going to actually be doing something, hitting people that are selling. Instead, with offers, we're going to be sending it to the best homes, the top 30%. And now I have a 20% of those postcards actually hitting someone that's looking to sell. Within our postcard campaign system, you can automate it, customize your templates. We have 35 professionally pre-made design templates. You can, make your own. You can upload your own images. It comes with a QR code, so homeowners can scan the postcard, be brought to any website you'd like, whether that's your website, a landing page, a lead capture site, etc.
And Aurec, let me stop you real quick. So we've talked a lot about, on other webinars about, going to your title company and getting, a list, and then, creating those custom audiences in Facebook. But this is taking it to the next level because, as Auric's saying, we're not just taking all those people in that database, we're taking the top 30%. So you're really, we always talk about laser focused stuff, Aurec. So this is really a really great way to do that, guys.
100%. We actually already have a couple agents that are attending today already kind of using offers, which is great. It's kind of, it goes to show that this really does work. You're shrinking it down and laser focusing on who's actually likely to sell, not just marketing to a general area. That's right on, Kevin. Cool. So within our system, you also have an ability to manage the leads and kind of organize it into custom tags and groupings. It's really a fully fleshed out CRM, make team member accounts, etc. And this really dials down into seeing an overview of, you get the owner name, owner address of the most likely to sell. Do you see how there's a scoring on the left-hand side here? That's only the highest scoring homes. And it's just really straightforward. You just have a list of homeowners who are predicted to sell, and we're getting your name known to them. It's a no-brainer to increase that kind of marketing prong that you guys are already doing with Google and Facebook ads. So to kind of recap, why do people use offers? Why have we been in business for 8 years? It gives you an unfair advantage, leveraging that targeted and focused list of predictive analytics. It saves you time and money. You don't need to waste it on all those homes that have no intention of selling. And it's a one-stop shop. Not only do we provide that data, but we also provide the tools you need to make that marketing work. And well, the question is like, what are the next steps? How do you get started? Where do I choose kind of my smart farm? How do I get this if I really want this? Territory map. I'll send you all a link in the chat that'll, or email Kevin can forward you guys an email link that'll bring you to a map customized to your specific zip code. And if I can exit out of here and show you guys an example really quickly. If I get out of
Absolutely.
Here.
We love examples.
I'll bring up where the office is. This is the 92663 area. As you can see, some people already actually own some of this, but if we look at, let's say, kind of this census tract here, every zip code is going to be divided into census tracts. And this is how you choose that laser focused audience. you're going to be able to click on this census tract, click more info, and you'll be able to see how accurate we are. This is 66%. Again, we're average 70%. The total amount of properties in the census tract and the estimated sales per year. And to kind of just give you an example of what you're going to be receiving if, let's say, you added this to your cart and purchased it, Offers is going to shrink this 1,800 down to the top 30%. So you no longer have to market to 1,800 homes in that area anymore, just the top 500 homes. And within that 500 homes, 66% of those estimated sales are going to be in that kind of grouping of 500. Mailing to 500 automatically while you guys sleep, while you work and do other stuff. And we're going to be generating new listings that way, getting you first in the door. That's what it's all about. So I'll send this link, territory map link, for you all to browse and look at later. Are there any questions, Kevin? Did you want to chime in and kind of check in with everybody, or
Yeah. Well, first of all, I see a prime real estate right here that nobody's claimed. So get on that. There's some really nice homes in that area right there. That's kind of the almost the bluffs over there, over Dover Shores. This is a really cool little zone. And also where my parents live, Lido Island, wide open. Oh yeah. So get on that, guys.
Yeah, nice. So what's cool is actually, oh, great question. I just saw a question by Albert. Is there a minimum contract or just 9 months? So this is a 12-month commitment, guys. This is a marketing tool. It's not something you're going to find results within 1 month. And, we want to be serious about marketing. It's going to be, farming usually takes about 18 months for it to kick in traditionally. Offers, this is a 12-month, as our algorithm is 70% accurate over the course of 12 months. So this is a good kind of way to kind of gauge that investment. And that actually moves on to my next kind of link here, which I'll also send you. And this is our marketing planner. So we can actually type in our zip code here, and it's going to ask us, what's my gross commission for the next 12 months with offers? If I want to make, let's say, 150,000, even that's pretty low for California, but let's just say we wanted to do this. It'll give us a whole overview of what we need to achieve. This set expectations right, the different methods of marketing. If I wanted to do postcards, how much would I need to spend per month in postcard budget to reach my goals? And this really gives you guys an outline for every agent that has a different amount of goals per year. Some agents we know are doing this part-time, some are full-time. And so this is a great way to show that return on that investment. I'll send you all this link as well, and you can check it out and see what works for your goals.
That's fantastic. And Aurec, I always put out a replay of the video. So I'll make sure when you, when I send that out, I'll make sure to include those links. These are great. Beautiful,
Kevin. Thank you so much.
And it looks like we do have one more question from Ann Harris in the question and answer. She says, how does your data compare to the most likely to sell list from the title companies?
And I'm so happy you asked that question, because that's something that we get a lot, actually. How do we compare to the most likely to sell list that you can get from your title companies for pretty much free? Offers and our sister company, SmartZip, are the only ones in the entire world, well, we work in the USA, that can predict 70% on average across the entire nation of most likely to sell sellers. The title companies, their accuracy rates can actually vary from state to state, city to city, zip to zip. Sometimes they can be a 20% most likely, sometimes a 90%. It's very inconsistent. So with this, you're getting a complete exact number of how accurate it is. And, I just think it's better than anything out there, in my opinion, being a little bit biased, of course, but it's just the best way to kind of do that mailing list and marketing, is really hone in on the most likely to sell, because we looked at the algorithm and the points that we kind of took into consideration. Any other questions? All right. So to kind of talk about pricing, again, you can go on this marketing calculator to view kind of pricing, what you should spend in postcards and data. These are all estimates. You don't have to spend this, but to kind of view pricing, let's go ahead and go back to the slideshow here and talk about, we already went over this. Pricing for the territory is 10 cents per property per month. So each territory that I just took a look at on that map over there that I showed you guys, it's going to have a different amount of properties within each one. It's just 10 cents per property. So if it has 1,000 properties, you're looking at $100 per month, and you're going to be receiving everybody's owner name, owner address, property address, email, phone number for about 10 to 20% of the database coming from Cole information. And you also get a couple bonus leads, such as realtor.com leads, FSBOs for sell by owners, expired listing leads, etc. So yeah, that's the pricing for the data. And then the marketing is going to be up to y'all in terms of how much you'd like to spend in that marketing planner. And again, these links will all be sent out with the recording that Kevin mentioned earlier. But any questions, any comments, concerns? That's really all for me.
Yeah, no, that is a thorough analysis of your product. We really appreciate it. Like I said, just having those multi-pronged approach to marketing is really what gives you the edge and keeps you top of mind. And so, doing all of these different things that we talk about are so important. And mailers are not dead. Mailers are still working. And like Aurec says, we can, QR codes have made a giant comeback. We're using QR codes in our marketing a lot now more. And so having that QR code on your mailer, they can connect directly to your websites, your agent marketing websites, and any other, landing pages like Aurec said that we want to use. So very, very cool stuff, guys. And I really, encourage you guys to take advantage of offers. And we do have a few agents that are trying it. Like I said, they've just started, so we don't have data from those agents, but we're looking forward to tracking them and letting everybody know on further webinars how this is working out. So go ahead and try it. Reach out to Aurec. I'll have his contact information on the replay, so he'll be our guy.
There you go. Kevin, I didn't tell you this, but I had a custom promo code made for all the agents here that are attending. That gives you 30% off of any territory of your choice. That lasts until the end of March. So I'll be sure to send that to you so everybody else can kind of take advantage of that. And yeah, that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it, Kevin, and appreciate everybody for listening in.
Heck yeah. So I will, of course, get this information out to everybody. And I appreciate you all being on our webinar as usual. A lot of new agents and a lot of our regulars. And so again, thank you very much for being with us, and get out there, make it a great week and a productive week. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday on the webinar. Bye-bye.